This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better. Kevin Trudeau here. Everything they don't want you to know about. Thanks for joining me. You're going to feel better at the end of this show. Have a great show today. I got some clips I have to show you because I've been going through all of the comments, not just the comments that people leave here on the channel, but also that email me and leave comments on the Telegram channel with the fan club. And I ask people, which segments and shows over the last few months have you liked the most? So I got a couple of them that came up, and this one came up all the time, and it's an area that it's something you should consider spending some time on. This show talks about how to improve the quality of your life in every area, how to live a better life, how to live a more successful life. It's the art of successful daily living. And we have some fun and do some entertaining things, and I expose stuff that they don't want you to know about. I tell you stuff from behind the curtain. We talk about secret societies. I am going to do a show on aliens, by the way. I've done that in the past. We had Giorgio Tsoukalos on from Ancient Aliens. Spectacular show. We know stuff that's going to be amazing. Bob Lazar, who was actually at Area 51. I mean, it's firsthand. At the end of the day, aliens from other planets have been on Earth and are here. And we'll talk more about that. And the moon is not what you think it is. But forget all about that stuff. What's most important is how you feel. And are you happy? Are you pissed off? Are you angry? Are you jealous? Do you have, do people push your buttons easy? Think about that. Are you stressed out? Do you have, do you fly off the handle? Do you go through bouts of depression and sadness and apathy? Do you lack motivation and inspiration? I think we all go through this from time to time, but you don't have to. You can actually have a well of joy and love bubble up within you. Well, how do you do that? Well, there's one technique that you can do, and I taught this here on the show. People said it was the most succinct, simple, easy to understand explanation of meditation that they've ever heard for those who are even meditators. And for those who never heard it, they said it blew out all of their misconceptions about what it is. And it also really motivated them to try it because of all of the unbelievable, almost magical benefits a person can attain if you do it properly. But what most people think is meditation is not meditation. So check out this segment, watch this segment, listen to this segment on meditation. I think you're going to love it and you'll be better for it. Take a watch. So how do you meditate? Very simple. So I'm going to go through the Reader's Digest version, and many of you don't even know what that is. That you've never heard of or read the Reader's Digest. I'm too old. I think every time I say something, I'm going, they don't even know what I'm talking about. This, right? Trade, you ever heard of the Reader's Digest? No, he's over there. He's shaking his head. Oh, God, help me. All right, so we have to now start doing education on some of my old analogies. Okay, so I'm going to give you a summary, a short version. That's what the Reader's Digest was, by the way. They had a big book, and the Reader's Digest version is they would take kind of excerpts of the book and crunch it down to about 1/3, so you could still kind of feel like you read the whole book without spending all that time. That was Reader's Digest. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to give you a quick summary. And that's not the entire How to Meditate course, but I'll just give you a quick summary. All right, so number one. When do you meditate? The answer, any time. There is no right or wrong. So never make up an excuse. Oh, I missed my meditation time. No, you can meditate anytime. Is there a best time? Ideal scene? Yes. Ideal scene is in the morning before breakfast. After you wake up. So wake up, go to the bathroom, wash your face. That's probably a good time. It doesn't matter if you have some coffee or tea before or after, drink some water. Ideally, in the morning is a very good time. But remember, any time works. The second time that's very effective is late in the afternoon before dinner. This way you can reduce the stress. When you meditate in the morning, it energizes you, helps you focus, and produces a spectacular winning day for you. Would you like to have a winning day every day? I'd go to Vegas and they put me up in all these, mega mansions over there. 5,000, 10,000 square feet mansions with pools in the living room that you could fit 20 people in. I mean, a big swimming pool, grand pianos, and magnificent mansions. And they would put me up for free. And every day when the butlers would come and they would feed me and the chefs would come in and they would cook for me and so forth, they'd always leave. Everybody was trained to leave by saying, "Mr. Trudeau, have a winning day." And I'd say, "I have a winning day every day. Every day's a winning." I remember I was talking to Zig Ziglar one time and he said, "I wake up in the morning, Kevin, and I say, it's a great day." And I says, "But is every day a great day, Zig?" He goes, "Well, just try missing one of them." Yeah, that's a good day. I woke up. So anytime you can meditate, ideally in the morning before breakfast, ideally in the afternoon before dinner. If you meditate in the morning, it helps produce a winning great day. When you meditate in the afternoon before a dinner, it reduces stress and gives you a beautiful evening with your family. Because many times we come back from work or after a long day and we're stressed out, and that kind of rubs off on our spouse, our family, our partner. It's just not good because we're dealing with all that pent-up stress and things that happened during the day. So when you come back at the end of the day and you meditate, it clears it all and it sets up a beautiful, wonderful, balanced, lovely energy between you and the people that you're living with. Friends, family, loved ones, dogs, cats, fish, pet snakes. Anything you have there, they'll love you more because your energy was all cleaned up. So that's when do you meditate. How often should you meditate? As often as you want. Once a week, once a day, 3 times a week, on occasion, it doesn't matter. Meditating in any amount at any time is better than not meditating. So it doesn't matter. It's like exercise. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you do it once a month. It's better than doing it 0 a month. Okay, what's the ideal? Ideal is twice a day. In the morning, after you wake up before breakfast, and in the afternoon before dinner. That's the ideal. But at the end of the day, realistically, you're going to do that 7 days a week. I've been doing this my whole life since the 60s. But who's going to be doing that? So don't force yourself to be fanatical. Just do the best you can. That's the ideal. Every day, 7 days a week, twice a day. That's the ideal, but it doesn't matter. Next, how long should you meditate in each session? Well, I will give you some parameters here. The ideal is 20 minutes. If you really want to get fanatical, you can go 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, but you really don't need to. The benefits past 20 minutes are incrementally smaller. So you really don't need a lot more than 20 minutes, unless you're trying to reach some extremely high states. And this is the only thing you're doing in order to get to those states. So realistically, 20 minutes is your ideal amount of time. 10 minutes is beautiful. 5 minutes is great. 2 minutes is fantastic. 1 minute is good. Yes, you get benefit even with 1 minute of doing the technique. So a minimum of 1 minute, and I would say a maximum of 20. And what's the ideal? 20 minutes really is the ideal scene. But don't force yourself to do 20 minutes. Start with 5 minutes, maybe move up to 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and then, work your way up to 20, or maybe you'll never get there. It doesn't matter. So that's how much time. Next, where should you meditate? And the answer is anywhere. Jerry Seinfeld said that he would meditate in the back of a cab in New York City. Not a quiet, peaceful place, but that's where he would meditate because that's when he had the opportunity to do so. So you can meditate anywhere, whether there's people around, whether there's noise. Think about it. In the old days, people would meditate in the wilderness, and there's noise. They don't have earplugs in. When Krishna was meditating, or Ram, Sri Ram was meditating in India, they were outside. Well, there's birds, and there's things, and there's noise, and there's the river, and there's the waterfall, and there's a lot of noise.
So you don't have to be in this, sensory deprivation tank. That's not the case. There can be noise. If you're in your house and the air conditioning unit is going on and off, or maybe in the other room, some kids are screaming or whatever, it's okay. So the point is you can meditate anywhere. Where is the ideal place to meditate? Ideally, it's either you're alone or you're at a center with other people meditating. Those are the two ideal places. So ideally, if you're in your house, you go to a room, shut the door. And it's okay if there's noise, obviously everybody's house is different. It's not going to be, you don't need earplugs, and I don't recommend them. But you can meditate anywhere, ideally. Now, somebody says, well, should I set up a certain meditation place, like with a rug and a pillow and an altar with some candles and incense? You certainly can. This is called a sacred space. And a lot of people set these up. Not required at all, but it's perfectly okay if that's something you're led to do. I never set one of those things up, So I meditate anywhere. Now, some people set up a specific place in their house. This is where I'm going to meditate. Here's my little pillow I'm going to sit on, etc. So the point is you can meditate anywhere. Next, how should you sit when you meditate? The answer is it doesn't matter. I don't recommend lying down, because if you lie down, there's a good chance you'll fall asleep. Now you're not meditating. You're resting, which is really good, but you're not meditating. So ideally, any comfortable position. Now this is critical, because don't think you have to sit on the floor in some lotus cross-legged position, because guess what? For 99% of you, that's not comfortable. So don't do that. You don't think you have to be a guru. Sit in a chair, probably the most comfortable thing. Does it matter if my legs or ankles are crossed or not? No, just sit like this. I'm pretty comfortable. I can sit here for 20 minutes. So make sure you're in a comfortable position. Sitting in a chair is wonderful. If you want to sit on the floor with your back to the wall, that's fine. If you want to sit on the floor on a pillow, that's fine. But it doesn't matter. You can have your legs straight out. You can cross them. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you're comfortable. Now, ideally, you want your back, your spine, a little bit straight as opposed to this. So that's your ideal, but it doesn't really matter. It's a little bit better if you have a straight spine and you're sitting on your sit bones. So when you sit, I'll give you a little trick. You take your hand and you put it under your butt cheek and you pull. So you pull your butt cheek out on both sides, and then you'll notice you're sitting on your sit bones and your spine automatically gets straighter. And you're like, that's amazing. It's like magic. When I would teach yoga, I would always say that. Take your hand and do this. Everyone's like, oh my God, I feel so much better. No kidding. Guys would say, my lower back pain went away. Yeah, because that sets you up to sit properly. Okay. But most importantly, get in a comfortable position. Next, what if I'm sitting there and I feel like I have to move, like I have to move my legs or something like that because they're no longer comfortable? I'm sitting here right now. My legs are crossed. My ankles are crossed. What happens if I'm meditating and all of a sudden I want to change the position of my feet, which I just did? Perfectly okay. No problem. Okay. So now we're sitting, and now comes the magic. That's like all the major questions, right? A couple other little questions that come up, by the way. Should I eat before? Ideally, no. You don't want to eat before, but you also don't want to be hungry because then your stomach's going to be going, and you're going to be thinking about food. So ideally, you don't want to eat a big meal right before you meditate, but a couple hours before is fine. Should you drink something? You should always be hydrated. Forget about meditation. You should always be hydrated. That's always going to help. I would stay away from aspirin because that stops your ability to enter into the proper state. It actually keeps you less psychic. So stay away from aspirin. Pharmaceutical drugs are obviously, not good for anything except in rare instances. But don't change any pharmaceuticals that you prescribe without checking with your doctor first, of course. So now you're sitting. How do you meditate? The meditation is very simple. First and foremost, set a timer. If you have a watch with a timer, decide how long you're going to meditate. 5 minutes, set it for 5 minutes. 10 minutes, set it for 10 minutes. If you're going to meditate for 20 minutes, set it for 20 minutes. If you have a little clock, you don't want one that goes, when the time is up. Probably have one with a nice chime or some birds or something, or a little beeping, So set a timer. This way you don't have to wonder about how long you've been meditating. Decide how long you're going to meditate, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever the number is. Set your timer. Now you start meditating. How do you meditate? First off, last question that always gets asked, what do I do with my hands? Do I do this? People say like, do I do this? Some people, the answer is it doesn't matter. These, by the way, are called mudras. So it's a position, and technically they do recirculate energy in a certain way. There's many of them, and they're done for particular reasons. That's advanced. You don't have to worry about that right now. You can put your hands like this, on your thing, palms down. You can put them palms up. You can do that. It doesn't matter. You can put your hands together. You can do this and put your hands together. You can do this where the thumbs are touching. And you can do this, left hand on top, right hand on top. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why you do each one. Thumbs touching, thumbs crossed, fingers together. None of it matters. That's advanced stuff. Don't even worry about it. Just sit comfortable. Here's how you meditate. First, let me define what meditation is, and then I'll give you the technique to meditate. Meditation is simply focusing on a singular point in space. That's all meditation is. It's focusing on a singular point in space. When you do that, all of the benefits that I described happen. Why do those benefits happen? Because when you do this, energy that is contracted within you starts to come to surface. So the analogy is, imagine that this is an ocean. This is the top of the ocean. And at the bottom, there's little bubbles of air trapped. And all of a sudden, you put a little device down there that kind of scrapes the bottom ocean floor and allow these trapped little bits of air to start releasing. So there's a bubble of air that starts coming. And when it gets to the surface, it pops. And it dissipates. It joins the rest of the air and becomes one with the air. These little bubbles are thoughts. They're energetic imprints. In the East, they're called samskaras. They're trapped energy, contracted energy that's vibrating at a very low frequency, not helping you in life. They're actually hindering you in life. So when you meditate, you're releasing these bubbles. And this is how you meditate. First, you can meditate with your eyes open by focusing on a point in space. The most common one is a candle flame. So you could sit in a room looking at a candle flame. Or you could look at anything, a singular point, a leaf. I've gone into the woods and looked at a leaf and been into a meditative state instantly. And I know this because in my research, I would put brainwave monitors, all these things on your head. And with the researchers, I would show how fast I could get into theta. This is the state. There's different types of brainwave states, but I can move from beta to alpha to theta, delta. I can move my brainwaves and also activate certain parts of the brain. And this has all been documented in scientific research. When you can control your mind You have power in your life. You can't control your mind when you have all this samskaras activating, giving you uncontrollable, irrational emotions. So this is one of the reasons why this technique is very effective. And by the way, meditation is not the only way to release these, but it's a very simple, effective way. It doesn't cost you anything. So number one, you're always focusing on something. So you can focus on something with your eyes open. Most common is a candle flame. You could focus on the fire in a fireplace. You could focus on a leaf. You could focus on a tree. You could focus on the river going down if you're sitting by a creek and you're looking at the water or a little waterfall. You could focus on anything. You could focus on a rock. Anything at all you could focus on. Remember, you have to focus on something. And it's one thing, and that's all you focus on for the entire time that you're meditating. Next, you could also focus on a sound. You would do that with your eyes closed. So with your eyes closed, you can focus on a sound. And it could be the sound of the air conditioner, the sound of the fan, the sound of the waterfall. Could be any type of sound. You can focus on that as well. The third thing you can focus on with your eyes closed is your breath. This is the most common technique because it's the simplest and easiest. It's the most commonly used. Focusing on the breath. So with your eyes closed, you focus on the breath. When you breathe, you always breathe in and out through your nose only. And you breathe absolutely normally. You don't do this. And I've seen people do that in meditation. It's like, what the heck are you doing? That's a pranayama technique. That's not a meditation technique. When you're meditating, you're just normal. You're relaxed. So you breathe in and out through your nose. But again, you're not doing this. No, you're just breathing. You're just letting your body breathe as normal. You're not trying to count. You're not trying to breathe anything. You're just allowing your body to breathe. It knows how to breathe. So you sit and you focus on the breath. Where do you put your attention? You can put your attention at the nostril. So as you're inhaling, your attention is here. And as you exhale, the attention is here. That's one place of focus. The next focus is here. So as you inhale, your focus or attention is here. So you're focusing on the breath, but your attention is here. The next place you can focus is 2 inches below your belly button. So when you inhale, the stomach goes out slightly, and on the exhale, it comes in slightly. Those are the 3 basic areas of focus if you're going to use the breath. The last general technique of focus, because remember, the first thing you do when you meditate, after you're in a comfortable position and you're in your place, is to decide what you're going to focus on. So it's either something external that you see, a sound with your eyes closed, a breath, or the fourth one, which is the second most popular, is what's called a mantra. This is a sound that you repeat in your head silently. A mantra should not be something that makes sense to you. So it shouldn't be a phrase. So a mantra should not be like, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. No, that's a phrase. That'll keep you thinking. You want a sound that is completely nonsensical. The most common sound of a mantra that is repeated in meditation is the sound Om. Now, it's either pronounced A-U-M, Om, or O-M, Om. Depends on what region of the world that you're in. This is called the primordial sound, and it is in ancient texts talked about the first sound or the word in the Christian and Jewish Bibles. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. It's a sound. It's the first sound. first primordial sound. And when you start going into elevated states and you cross the veil, that's the sound that you hear. That's the sound that permeates your entire being like you've never experienced before. So we know it's the primordial sound. And then right after that, when you're in the stillness and the oneness, there is no sound. It is complete static. And it is absolute bliss beyond human comprehension. And it is ineffable. But right before you hit that, you're it completely encapsulated or enveloped in this sound. And it feels as a vibration that's permeating right down into your bones and into your soul. So a common mantra is Om or Om, Om, Om. You don't say it out loud, you just say it here. Any mantra, Sharim, is one used in transcendental meditation. There's 5 basic mantras in transcendental meditation. And there's other mantras. Om Namah Shivaya is used in Siddha Yoga. There are other ones as well. These are nonsensical sounds. Ideally, it's 2 syllables. Sharim, Owl. Those are 2 syllables. So ideally, it's a 2-syllable sound. You choose which one. If I had a recommendation for you, I would say the breath. Choose the breath and then choose where you're going to be focusing your attention. Once you make that choice, I would suggest you stay with that for as long as you want, at least several months before you try to change it. That's going to be helpful to you. So my suggestion would be pick closing your eyes and the breath and just decide whether you're going to focus here, here, or 2 inches below the belly button. That's my suggestion. You can pick whatever focal point you want. And once you pick one, I wouldn't change it. Some people are like, oh, today I'm going to look at a flame, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the Om, and then the next day I'm going to breathe and put my attention on my 2 inches below my navel. Then I'm going to look at a leaf. Okay. It's better to pick one and kind of stay with it. So now you've chosen your focal point. So in this example, I'm going to use the breath, and I'm going to put my attention here in this example. So here's now how you meditate. It's really, 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 really easy because you don't have to do anything. You keep your face relaxed and you close your eyes and you're comfortable. And now all I'm doing is I'm focusing, in my particular example here, on my breath. Now, as you do this, at some point, you're going to realize you're no longer focusing here. You're going to realize at some point you're thinking thoughts. What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for dinner? I got to make that phone call. You're going to be thinking something. Does this really work? Am I wasting my time? At some point, you're going to have awareness that you have thoughts. When that happens, and it should happen, and it will happen, do not be critical or upset with yourself or angry or frustrated. It's supposed to happen. You're supposed to have thoughts come up. Those are the bubbles that are coming up from the bottom of the ocean, getting ready to be transmuted and join into the oneness. People think meditation is to be still and eliminate all thoughts. That's not the objective. The objective is to do the technique and let it do its work. Let it do its magic. So you sit, and I'm focusing here on my breath. It inhales and it exhales. And at some point, it could be within seconds, could be within minutes, you don't know. I realize I'm having thoughts. You keep your face relaxed. There's no criticism, judgment, condemnation, or evaluation. All you do is you are aware that you're having thoughts. And when you are aware that you're having thoughts, in a complete state of neutrality, go back to focusing on the breath. And then at some point, it could be a few seconds later, or a minute, or 2 minutes, you're going to realize that you're having thoughts. And you may not even know how long you've been thinking thoughts, but you're going to realize you're having thoughts at some point. When you realize you're having thoughts, that is what's supposed to happen, that's what should happen, and that's what will happen. All you do is, in a state of neutrality, go back to focusing on the breath. And at some point, you're going to realize you're having thoughts. And when you realize you're having thoughts, you simply go back in a state of calm, peace, neutrality, and go back to focusing on the breath. And at some point, you're going to realize you're thinking thoughts. Keep your eyes closed. And at that point, in a complete state of neutrality, you simply go back to focusing on the breath. That's the drill. That's the process. That's the technique. And then at some point, your little alarm is going to go off. And when your alarm goes off, open up your eyes. Now, clearly, there's one place you should not meditate, and that is while you're driving. Because you have your eyes closed. Some people will get that one on the way home. Welcome back. You know, the trifecta of success is health, wealth, and happiness. And meditation is just one tool that can help you really tune in to yourself, free yourself, liberate yourself on multiple levels and dimensions so that you can navigate through life with grace and ease, feel better, happier, more secure, more at peace, and have all the physiological benefits as well. Lower blood pressure, less stress and anxiety, and magical things happen when your vibration changes. Your relationships get better, sex gets better, you attract people if you're single. It really is amazing. That's one little thing that single people always say. I started meditating, all of a sudden I'm meeting just these amazing men, or I'm meeting these amazing women, and it's pretty great. Another area that we talked about in a segment that got a lot of comments was one of the greatest kept money-making secrets of all time. And there are a lot of things that we learn about when you read books. And look, I recommend books on this show. We have a great recommended reading list. In the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club, there's an extensive one. That's at ktfanclub.com. If you go there, we have an extensive list. But there's a short list that I recommended here in the show. And these books contain a variety of, we'll call them, techniques and methods and tools that you can use that will help you make more money and manifest things in your life. And they've been proven. They've passed the test of time. But there is a secret. There's a great secret that most people don't talk about. And it's one of the greatest kept money-making secrets of all time. And I talked about it on the show. And it's one of the reasons why we have the fan club and also the reason why we have the Global Information Network. So take a watch at this segment and learn about what I don't think you will, if you read 1,000 books on success, you will not hear about this little known, little talked about, little understood, true secret, the common denominator that all wealthy people engage in is described in this segment. Take a watch. The greatest kept money-making secret of all time is if you look at anybody and everybody who makes money. Now, let's define this first off. Because if you have $1 million in net worth, you're called a millionaire. That means nothing. A millionaire started as an amazing level of success back in the early 1900s. So in 1910, if you were a millionaire, in today's money, that means you had over $100 million in assets. That's what you were worth. So a millionaire today means nothing. So it starts at $100 million. So unless you have or have had $100 million in assets, and back in those days, it was in cash. It wasn't in real estate and stocks that you couldn't sell. It was in cash money. It was in cash, 100 million in cash. And a person was earning back then between 8 and 10% dividends or interest a year on that money. So in today's world, let me put this in perspective. Somebody has $100 million, and that money, they don't have to work a day in their life. That money earns them approximately $1 million a month. So just imagine that you don't work. You don't have a business or a job. You do nothing. But every month, $1 million is deposited into your bank account. And it will be for the rest of your life. Okay, you got to pay taxes on it. But can you live? I mean, you might struggle a little, I suppose, right? That's wealth. And that's really where it starts. It's having complete financial freedom and independence. You don't have to work a day in your life, and you're making about $1 million a month. Your money and assets are paying you, and you don't have to go to a board meeting. You don't have to do any consulting. You don't have to make a phone call. You don't have to do anything. You are 100% financially independent. That's what financial independence and freedom means. You don't have to do anything, and the money just keeps pouring in and pouring in and pouring in. And I'll tell you, when you start, in the days before apps, phone apps and everything, now you can check the bank balance. Back in my day, I'd always call my banker, no matter where I was in the world. How much money was deposited into my account today? $87,500 today, Mr. Trudeau. That was a good day. Thank you very much. The next day I'd call, how much was deposited into my account today? Today was $24,000. Thank you very much. And I would call every day, and he would tell me how much money was deposited into my account. And no matter where I was in the world, back then you had American Express offices, I would say, I happen to be in Bellagio in Italy right now, and I'd like to get some money. My pleasure, sir. How much would you like? We'll send it to the American Express office. Let me find one for you, and I'll call you back, and you go there, and you get the money. I mean, it was a different world. Today, it's even easier. But that's financial freedom and independence, being able to just do whatever you want, be able to pay for it, and have money just pouring in without you doing anything. If you look at all the people today that are in that category, that's real money. What is the one thing that's different with them compared to everybody else? There's one thing, by the way. There's one. Did I tell you? There's one. There's only one. Is there two? No, there's one. There's one difference. There's one thing that they all have versus everybody else. That one thing is they're all a member of a private association, secret society, or private club or private group. Every single one of them. Being part of either, let's call it Skull and Bones at Yale University, or a member of the Harvard Alumni Club, a lot of billionaires in that, or a member of some of the other secret societies or groups that have been very powerful, such as Freemasons. Some of them are members of just very exclusive country clubs or other groups or associations. There's a group called YPO, Young Presidents Organization. There's a lot of groups. Every one of these people are part of a group of like-minded people, which means they're motivated, they're successful, they're enthusiastic, they're positive, they're big dreamers, they are creators, they're manifestors. And when you get that group together, just like I talked about earlier in the meditation segment, you have a exponential effect of power. What this does, it does something very specific to the brain. Just the other day, I was watching a very good video, and I'm going to get more data on it, because this is what I've known. Quite frankly, I was shocked that there's actual real research done on this today, because this is one of the secrets that we knew for a long time. It's the hippocampus in the brain is small in poor people, and it's big in rich people. It basically creates a vibration and frequency that attracts money into your life. In all wealthy families, in all testing, that part of the brain is bigger in the offspring in wealthy families and smaller in poor communities and poor families. It's not racial. It has to do with how much money you're making. And this is a biological thing. We know with brain testing, the biology of the brain, such as the pineal gland and the hippocampus and others, affect the vibrational frequency that you can put out. This is why when somebody is trying to use the law of attraction and they're trying to visualize their goals and feeling now as if they were in attainment of those goals and putting out that vibration, some people get results and some people don't. Those who don't get results, if you just look in the brain, the hippocampus is very small. So they can't broadcast properly. They have too much counter-intention frequency going against them. Those that do manifest, it's very large. And so the question is, how does it get large? If you have it small, can it get bigger? Yes. Yes. That's what the money processes are all about. That's what the training that's in part of the Global Information Network, the Success Master Course. And that's why I put together the Global Information Network. You know what the number one fastest way to make that grow and get faster is associating with other like-minded people. That's why the Global Information Network was set up, so that people could then, for the first time, start associating with others, and that synergistic effect at major weekend functions or day functions or just group masterminds when they're on a Zoom call together or just calling each other. That interaction with other like-minded people helps it grow, which is why it's always large in wealthy families, because they're always interacted and they're connected on a DNA level. When you're a member of our club, you get connected by going through an induction ceremony with the other members. And this helps that grow. This is the number one thing that can help that grow, which can help you manifest goals, dreams, and desires in your life. And then doing the money processes obviously blows out all those charges. And this is why when people left the money process, they're walking into walls. If I were to test them, the size of their, that part of the brain is going to go up dramatically. It would go up dramatically. So, and this is why when we do the money processes, and there's the email address if you want more information, just write moneyprocesses@kevintrudeau.com. But this is why when people come into Chicago to do the money processes, I take everybody to dinner. So that night, after the money process, I take them all to dinner. This way I can put my frequency and energy into the whole group. And this is the magic. This is now scientifically proven to be true. So I'm going to do something here. The club that I formed, and as you know, look, I don't have any sponsors yet on this show. We're just blowing through money, and when people make donations to the fan club, when people do anything, we pay for the expenses here, and then after that, all the money goes to the Federal Trade Commission for my legal issues. So I'm going to do something here that's going to help you dramatically. We have a couple events coming up. We have one coming up in Beverly Hills, California this summer. It's for our level 5 members or above. I'm going to allow you, if you are not a member of the Global Information Network, if you join the Global Information Network and you upgrade to level 5, I'll give you a free ticket. I'll let you use the free event ticket for that event in Beverly Hills. And I'm going to show you a video in a second. The second option is you can come to Chicago this fall, and you can come to that absolutely free. All you have to do is join the Global Information Network. You don't have to go to level 5. You can just join the Global Information Network, and we'll give you a free event ticket for Chicago's weekend event. And these are powerful. Now, we have a summer conference video. So let's show that now, just to give you a little taste of what you can get absolutely free.
for the Global Information Network's Level 5 and Above exclusive Summer Conference 2024. This year, we are taking you to where gin has never gone before, a brand new and ultra exclusive destination for the elites all across the world. Somewhere with a global reputation for its celebrity residents and guests, the hub for the wealthy in the West Coast. Referred to as the stage of the world. Beverly Hills, California. This year's summer conference will be held at the luxurious and iconic Beverly Wilshire Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. Only 30 minutes away from the famous Santa Monica Pier and Venice Beach, and even closer to the iconic Dolby Theater and Hollywood Boulevard's iconic Walk of Fame. You can feel the history. It's almost 100 years of legendary people, memories, and iconic events. The Beatles holding a press conference in the Champagne Room. Fans sending love notes up to Elvis's suite. This hotel proudly welcomed the Hollywood's elite for nearly a century, and it's located in a prime position overlooking the world-famous Rodeo Drive, home to more than 100 of the world's luxury brands, world-class art, and Michelin-starred restaurants, all housed in exemplary architect-designed boutiques along its palm tree-lined blocks. This location is one of the best in the world for shopping, and of course, expanding yourself as you dream bigger. As you enter the majestic gate inspired by Buckingham Palace, you're welcomed with the finest attention to detail. Gas lamps from Edinburgh, and a cobblestone driveway with stone imported from Italy. You'll be received by the smiling faces of your welcoming gin brothers and sisters. You may even just run into a few famous faces, as Hollywood's rich and famous frequently grace its halls every day. And you may even recognize this hotel from the famous movie, Pretty Woman. Wow.
Welcome to Hollywood. Everybody comes to Hollywood, got a dream. What's your dream?
Miss Vivian, one more time. Dinner napkin.
Dinner napkin. Okay. Relax.
Well, tables off the table.
Get privy to exclusive training available to only members at level 5 and above. This could be your event. The event that is the key to unlock all you've been dreaming of. See you there at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel in Beverly Hills, California.
Welcome back. I'll tell you what, it's going to be amazing. If you're not a member of the Global Information Network, consider it. If you join the Global Information Network, you get a free, all-expense-paid ticket to the event of your choice. You can go to the summer conference. You can go to the one coming up in the fall. And I can't tell, I want to say, who we've just been talking to today, one of the greatest American success stories of all time, somebody who is one of the biggest movie stars of all time. He became governor of a state. There's a good chance he'll be speaking at our event. It's something you don't want to miss. So if you're not a member of the Global Information Network, really consider joining. If you do have goals, dreams, and desires, this could be an organization that gives you everything you need. It not only gives you the training and the courses, the Success Mastery course, the Science of Personal Mastery course, but most importantly, it gives you the ability to increase the size of your hippocampus, which is the one secret difference between wealthy people and those who aren't. And you're doing things. There's a whole list of things you do every day that's making it get smaller. That's why we call them failure habits. Success people have success habits, which make it get bigger. But it's also in their DNA. But if you don't come from a wealthy lineage, what are you going to do? Being part of a group is the number one singular most important thing you can do, as well as the money process to increase the size. But I'm going to give you something else for free. I'm going to really encourage you to join. Look, I know this stuff. It doesn't matter to me if you join or not, because quite frankly, if you join or if you don't join, it doesn't change my lifestyle. And it doesn't change my inner state of joy and happiness. But it will change yours. Think about it. If you don't join, what are you going to do? Nothing's going to change in your life. If you do join, at least you have a chance of getting better. So I'm going to sweeten it even more. If you join the Global Information Network, not only are you going to get a ticket to your choice, either this summer conference in Beverly Hills or the fall conference with me, 3 days in Chicago, I'm also going to give you a 5-night, 6-day luxury cruise on the Norwegian Cruise Line magnificent ship, the Pearl. We at GIN have taken over the entire ship for an entire week. Over 2,500 GIN members are going to be on that ship. Only GIN members. We own the ship for the entire week. I'm going to give you a ticket on that cruise, all expense paid. It's a $10,000 ticket. Meals, your rooms, all the meetings, all the activities, all expense paid. Absolutely free. All you have to do is become a member of the Global Information Network, become a level 1 member. That's it. And you get it for free. And it is selling out quick because members are booking their tickets. People are joining our club every day and registering. And there's obviously a limited number of cabins. I want to show you a little video here to let you know what to expect. But before I do, there are things that I can do on this ship that you can't do anywhere else because of the fact that you're on a ship with only GIN members. We see when we have events in hotels, there are other people in the hotel. There's other people all around the hotel. So the energy is different. It's spectacular. But on the ship, we have only our members. There's no counterintention energy. So the bubble of frequency that's on there is unique compared to anything else we do. Then when you get into open sea, where you have salt water all around, salt water has been used throughout for thousands and thousands of years to ward off evil spirits. Well, what it really means is to basically reduce negative frequency, low vibration frequency. That's what salt water does. Call them evil spirits because low vibration frequencies create bad things in your life. So when you're surrounded by the sea, on the ship, in this bubble of frequency, it's like nothing else that can be duplicated. I can then do energetic work and on you that I can't do anywhere else. And the increase in your frequency, your attractive power, your manifesting power, your creative power goes up exponentially and stays with you. It's like nothing else. So let me show you this video. You can come on this with me absolutely free. Let's take a look at this.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, he's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. It's far beyond the star, it's near beyond the moon. I know beyond a doubt my heart will lead me there soon. Beyond the
all you got to do is, oh, that's an interesting picture. There we go. All you got to do is go to globalinformationnetwork.com, globalinformationnetwork.com, sign up, become a member. You get assigned a member support coach who'll reach out to you, help you navigate the website, make sure you get all the success training in our core training, the Success Master Course, the Science of Personal Master Course. But look, the greatest kept money-making secret of all time is something you can't read about in any book. You find a book that talks about the hippocampus. Talk about a book that mentions that all successful people did one thing. And those who didn't come from multi-families like Andrew Carnegie and so forth, Henry Ford, they didn't come from multi-families. But later, their brain changed. What changed it? There's a lot of things that can change it, but the two most powerful things that will change it is associating with other like-minded people and being part of a fraternal or organization that you're connected with other people. This happens in a wealthy family, but if you're not in a wealthy family, you don't have those DNA connections. You have to be part of a group. And what group are you going to join? The Global Information Network is unlike anything else. So I'm really going to encourage you. And like I said, it doesn't change my lifestyle. I could care less if you join it or not, because guess what? I live a magnificent life. Regardless of what the external conditions are, my life is wonderful, delicious, and magnificent. And I go to bed every night thinking, I love my life. I love it. Every day, no matter where I am in the world, no matter what the external conditions are. And when I wake up in the morning, I wake up thinking, I love my life. You can experience this too. Not just experience it, but this is a state that you can be anchored in and live every day. And when you want to manifest something, you can focus your mind, control it, and manifest it. Because the brain has been changed to broadcast that frequency like a laser beam, so you can. And right now, I can tell you, if I would look at your brain and we would do a brain scan and say, look, here's the size versus someone else of the hippocampus. You can look at this and let's look at the pineal gland and see if it's active or not. You can see it and go, look, you have an engine in your car that's like a sewing machine. You can't drive very fast. And if you have a sewing machine engine in a plane, try to take off and fly. You can't. You need to increase the power. So what that means is you need to increase your broadcasting frequency power. And when you do, then when you apply the technique of visualization and feeling now as if you were in, what's in Napoleon Hill's books or so forth, then it creates results. So the two most powerful things that you need are to be part of that association and really engage in it. And secondly, the money processes, which get rid of all the counter-intention blocks, which are keeping, remember I told you before, you've heard me say it, those who are in wealthy families don't have them. So it allows that part of the brain to grow. With those blocks, it's going to be slower and harder. It's going to feel like you're swimming upstream. Not that you can't manifest things, but you're going to be swimming upstream. So now hopefully you understand and you can say, it's not my fault. Now I get it. Now I understand. And you have the power. You have everything you need to change your situation and create the life you want. Remember, most importantly, that you are love and light. God dwells within you as you. Remember who you really are. Increase your awareness of your beauty, your magnificence, and your greatness. You were born to win. You were engineered for success. You were designed for accomplishment. And you were, by our Creator, endowed with the seeds of magnificence and greatness. God loves you. The universe loves you. And so do I. And we're back. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's why we have the partner program in the Kevin Trudeau fan club. And this is why I put together the Global Information Network. Both of these organizations offer to you what the privileged elite class have always engaged in. Being part of a secret society, being part of a club, being part of an association, being part of a group where you're energetically connected, where that group, just by being a member, empowers you magically. This is why when people join the Global Information Network and they sign up for $38 and they don't do anything, all of a sudden their life starts getting better. They feel better. They have more energy in the morning. They wake up and, how is this possible? And I explain because you're plugging into a power source when you become a member. And then if you upgrade to level 1, that source gets stronger. And if you go all the way and pass the level 5 test and go through the induction ceremony as a member, it is geometrically increased. That's why membership in that club is such a beautiful thing. And it's a private, exclusive club, but it's open to people all around the world who speak any language, because it's all translated, who want more out of life. And if you can't travel, it's all virtual. We have virtual chapter meetings. We have local chapters around the world. Toronto, for example, sometimes there was 80 people at their local chapter meeting. France has large chapter meetings where people get together and meet on a monthly basis. We have virtual chapter meetings, so if you don't have a large chapter in your area, you can meet up. We're going to be building clubhouses, physical clubhouses around the world. That's my dream. They have hundreds of clubhouses where people can meet who are members. This is something that's never been done before. It's been kept for the privileged elite class. So if you want more out of life, if you want to start tapping into what I really believe to be is one of the greatest kept money-making secrets of all time, and it certainly is the one common denominator that all successful people, super mega successful people, the privileged elite have used, these being part of this group or secret society, consider joining. Go to globalinformationnetwork.com. It's only $38 to join. It's very inexpensive. You can cancel at any time. The monthly dues are only $18. And you get thousands of dollars worth of training available online, both in video and audio and written material. You have access to a whole host of benefits. And the biggest benefit, or initial benefit, is when you join just for $38, you get a free ticket. It's a $5,000 ticket to an entire weekend event with me, a Global Information Network weekend success event. Friday night, all day Saturday night, and Sunday. It's a $5,000 ticket. You get one for free. I mean, that's unheard of, because we want you to fully experience our club. These events are put on all over the world. You pick the location and the date that fits for you. And if you can't travel, we do broadcast them virtually. So you get a free ticket to either the live event or to the virtual event. You know, these things cost large amounts of money. Les Brown, one of the top motivational speakers in the world, I was just on the phone with him the other day. He charges $15,000 for a weekend. I was talking to Jay Abraham. He charges $50,000. For $5,000, that's the value of our event is off the charts, but you get a free ticket. So for $38, and you can cancel at any time, you might want to consider joining and seeing for yourself, experiencing for yourself the power that all of the wealthy people know is real, true, and exists. They know that it makes the difference in achieving success. What about you? Think about it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button. We broadcast Monday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Starting in the fall, we'll be broadcasting 5 days a week, and also a Sunday spiritual show. But the Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday show will only be broadcast on Rumble, because I'll be doing things there that if I was to say those things on any of the other platforms, I would be censored and they would shut us off. So watch or listen on the platform of your choice, but you might want to consider going to Rumble and subscribing and hit the notification so that on the Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday show, you can catch that as well, because that's going to be some real behind the scenes stuff that they don't want you to know about. Because if I said that on YouTube, I'd be off the air in a nanosecond. So we'll keep the real controversial stuff for Rumble. Hope you're feeling better now than when you started the show. I think you are. I'm Kevin Trudeau. Thanks for joining me. Join us every week, twice a week. Make sure you leave comments and share this with as many people as you know. Remember, you were designed for accomplishment. You were engineered for success. And you were endowed with the seeds of greatness. See you all at the top. Much love.